statement.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Today, the Security Council is convening to renew UNIFIL's mandate. But what good does this mandate do when it fails so miserably to meet any of its objectives? On July 27th, in the northern town of Majd al-Shams, 12 innocent children were brutally murdered by Hezbollah, their lives stolen by Iranian-made missiles. This attack was a direct result of the failure of UNIFIL and the Lebanese government to implement Resolution 1701. The tragic loss in Majd al-Shams is not an isolated incident. Since October 8th, Hezbollah has launched hundreds of rocket attacks, killing almost 40 Israelis and displacing over 60,000 from their homes. 60,000. If you compare it to the US, it's equal to 3.5 million Americans displaced during a wartime. Hezbollah's violations of Resolution 1701 have gone unchecked despite countless warnings and appeals. UNIFIL's inability to enforce its mandate has allowed Hezbollah to build its arsenal and take control in southern Lebanon, transforming it into a terrorist haven that threatens the entire region. UNIFIL forces must be active and effective in their enforcement of Resolution 1701. The situation in which Hezbollah launches rockets, missiles, and drones at Israel from sites next to UNIFIL bases is unacceptable. Allow me to show you one of the pictures that I will present today in the Security Council. In that picture, we see a UN base, which next to the base, 100 meters from the base, you see the location where rockets were launched into civilian population in Israel. And I have dozens of pictures like this one, and we can share it with you after the debate. And basically what it shows that Hezbollah, they place the rocket launchers next to the UNIFIL bases. So when we want to retaliate or attack, we will have to target facilities which like 70 meters from, that is the line of the base, 70 meters from the base of UNIFIL. And we have, like this picture, we obtained dozens of events like that. I don't think you will read about it in the reports of UNIFIL, but it's important that it will be revealed. This situation cannot and will not continue. I have a message for the Lebanese people. You and your government have a choice to make. Confront Hezbollah today or watch as your country is dragged into chaos and destruction. The time for action is now. Do not let Hezbollah and Iran dictate your future. If you fail to act, the devastation that follows will be on your hands. Israel does not seek war. But as we demonstrated this week, we will not hesitate to defend our people. We will not tolerate Hezbollah firing rockets at our citizens. The time for the international community to act is now, before this conflict spirals further out of control. We call on this Council to finally enforce Resolution 1701 in full and to recognize Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. Thank you.
Gabriel Zahn from Al Jazeera English. Thank you for your words speaking. Israel launched some of the biggest raids in the occupied West Bank in the last decades overnight, since about 20 years ago. Minister Katz has posted on X that he calls for the temporary evacuation of Palestinians from the West Bank. How do you plan to do that, and when does your government plan to do that?
So first, let's speak about the facts. The facts are that Iran is trying to infiltrate also Judea and Samaria. We are speaking about multiple fronts, but we have evidence of Iranian trying to smuggle weapons into Judea and Samaria, and we have seen a rise in terror attacks in Israel. So we take the measures necessary to prevent terror activities in Israel and in Judea and Samaria, and we will do whatever is necessary. We have seen activities in some of the locations you mentioned, and we will see more. Whenever we will know that there is a threat for Israelis, and we can take care of that threat, we will do that.
You're planning to evacuate Palestinians from the West Bank, sir? Like the minister said on social media this morning?
We proved that we are capable of fighting terrorism in Judea and Samaria, and we will continue to do that. Thank you.
Ambassador, Margaret Bashir with Voice of America. This week, both the United Nations and more than 24 aid groups have said that their aid operations have come to practically a halt in Gaza due to the 16th evacuation order that Israel issued in the Strip. Can you give us your reaction to this, and are you taking into consideration this fact in your military planning? Thank you.
So, like we spoke last week, that people spreading facts which are not true. And this is an example for that. We discussed polio last week. The reports are not correct. We have a mechanism for coordination between COGAT, which deals with the situation today in Gaza, and with UN organs, WHO, UNICEF, and we continue to work closely with them to monitor the situation, to collaborate, and we will continue to do that. So I don't accept those reports. Yes, it's not easy for the UN organs and other NGOs to operate in Gaza today. That's true, and we all know who is to be blamed for that. Hamas started this war, and we have to finish what they started on October 7th. But we are working with the NGOs. We have the mechanism, and only last night they had a meeting to speak about the problems and about the issues we can work together on.
So you mentioned the polio campaign that's going to launch on Saturday. Will Israel grant the humanitarians the short ceasefire that they're asking for in order to vaccinate the children in Gaza?
So I mentioned it last week that 98% of the people in Gaza are vaccinated, and Israel will work with WHO and other organs to support all the campaigns to bring vaccines into Gaza. I want to thank you very much. Thank you.